Hi guys! In this video, I'm going to show you how you find your feedback for the short story writing in order to complete your first lesson in this week's remote learning. So as you can see here, I'm on my instructions page. Now yours will look a little bit different than mine because you'll have this link here with the video that you're watching right now. So when I'm on the instructions page, I've read my learning target. Our goal for today is that you can reflect on your previous writing performance in order to improve your writing in the future. So to do that, I'm going to have you look at your feedback for the short story writing. To find your feedback for the short story writing, you're going to go about this in one of two ways. So most of you turned it in on turnitin.com, like I asked you to. So kudos to you. Great work. So most of you will find it in turnitin.com. So we go to turnitin.com, you log in. Once you've logged in, you'll see your classes here. You're going to click on whichever R class, so it might be CB English 9 Period 1, or you might be in one of my other periods. So I click on this. Okay, click on the class. Here are my submitted assignments. So you can see I submitted something to the short story writing. Now I can't submit it again, but it looks like, oh, I can view. So I'm going to go ahead and click view. Now what I did here, guys, I just input just an article that we've looked at, so not my paper, but you will have your writing right here. So it'll have your writing, and then we're going to look at this. Now this red number right here, this is your similarity report. So most of you have maybe 10 to 15% similarity report at most. If you have more than that, and I haven't talked to you, that means you didn't plagiarize. What it probably means is you just had a large portion of quotes in your writing. So you can see here that this 92%, that would be horrible. That is just because I took this article from the internet for our purposes today. But I've got my writing right here. That's what the similarity report is. It's not your grade. Your grade is right here. So I got a 42 out of 50. So what that means is I got about an 84%. So I'm going to go to this comment bubble right here. So in the comment bubble, this is your instructor feedback. So here's where I gave you your comments. And now all of you will have one of these comments here. So I start by listing your name, and then I give you your strengths. So I say, these are some things that you did well. I list them out. So it looks like my theme applied to society beyond the stories. I included evidence from multiple stories, and I blended my evidence into my writing. Or I blended my evidence into my writing, and I take time in my reasoning to discuss how and why the evidence I selected supports my argument. Well done. So I'll always have a well done or something after this just to remind you that these are good things, that you did these things well. So I list them out here. Then I go into, as a teacher, I've left you the second half of the comment, which means let's continue working on, when I say that, that's saying, okay, here are some things that we struggled with and we want to improve on for next time. So let's continue working on making sure the evidence you select makes sense in the context of your writing, and that you conclude your paragraph or writing with why your argument matters to society. So why does it matter that the characters felt they needed to change their identities for the sake of others? Okay, and then we have the 84%. So this is what you got on your grade. So I can see here, I have this big comment, and it looks like, okay, I have two things because the teachers listed out two things here. So it looks like making sure my evidence makes sense in the context of my writing, and that I conclude my paragraph or writing with why my argument matters to society. Okay, so here are my two sets of information here. Now that I've read my feedback, and you might be a little confused on some of the feedback, and that's okay. That happens sometimes. If that's the case, feel free to email me. Now, don't just email me and be like, what did you mean, period. Give me specifics. So what did you mean when you said that I need to work on making sure the evidence I selected makes sense in the context of my writing? What did you mean by that specifically? So ask me a specific question. Just email that to me, and I'd be happy to get back with you with some more information on that. But once I have done this, I'm going to keep this tab open, and then I'm going to go back. And you guys remember in your Schoology folder for this week, it has the assignment review and revise. You click on that assignment, you click on my document. I won't show you here because I can't show you from the student view, only the teacher view. But if we go back to our instructions, you'll see it explains it here, how you get there. And one note, guys, while you're doing this, make sure, open up a new tab in Google and make sure that this account right here is your Creek account. If it's not, you're going to have to log in with your Creek account before in Schoology it's going to let you access the document for this week's assignment. If you have done that and you still can't access it, I have another version of it right here. You can click on it. I'll show you how we do this, but this is only if the assignment doesn't open in Schoology. You go to File, make a copy, and then you can edit it, because right now you wouldn't be able to edit it in this format because you don't own the document. And then you'd email that to me once you finish, but that's only if you can't get it on Schoology. Okay, next. We want to do the assignment. I've seen my feedback. I want to do the assignment. So let's say, okay, I've opened up my document. All right. So this is what this assignment looks like. So the purpose of this assignment, this process, is not only to recognize your strengths and weaknesses as a writer, but then to take that information and create goals for yourself as a writer to guide your future written works. So this is how we improve, by looking at what we did and what we did well and what we didn't do so well on, and looking to improve in the future. This is how we grow as writers. So this is a really important process that we're doing today. So I've read the feedback in the comments that Mrs. Hine left for me in my essay, and now I need to identify the following. So 1 to 2 strengths, things that you did well. So I'm going to go ahead and let's do this. Okay. Oops, I want this open right here. All right. So I'm looking at this. And I also want to look at my, oops, there we go. This is weird. Okay, I also want to look at my comment over here. So let's say things that I did well. That's the first half of this. And I only need to list, okay, 1 to 2 things. Well, I have a few things here, so I can pick from them. So I think I'm going to say, let's see, your, well, instead of your, I'm going to say my theme applies to society beyond the stories. So then what I would do is I need to find the example from my essay. So that means, in this case, I would go to the very first sentence in my writing, because that's my theme, that's where your claim went. I would copy that and just paste it over here to show that example from my essay. And if we look at some of these next ones, you take your time in your reasoning to discuss how and why the evidence you selected supports your argument. So what I would do is I would write that right here. My evidence discusses, or excuse me, my reasoning discusses how and why the evidence I selected supports my argument. And then I'd put a piece of my reasoning right over in this side. I'd just copy and paste it from my writing. Okay, once I've finished with that, then I'm going to go on here to this next piece. Oops, here we go. So 1 to 2 struggles. Things that I need to continue working on. So you can see here in this column, you're going to put the skills that you need to continue working on, the specific skill. That's a specific comment I left for you over here. Then the example from your essay. And then this one includes a revision piece. I'm going to show you what that might look like. All right, so the skill, I'm going to start here with, I'm going to start with this second piece here. It says that I conclude my writing. Okay. So I'm going to say skills that I struggled with. Well, I'm going to say concluding my writing with why my argument matters to society. That's something that I struggled with. All right. Then I need to find an example for my essay. So I'd probably, because we're talking about the conclusion, I'm just going to type in here, copy and paste the last sentence from my essay. Right in here. Then revision. You may not know how to do it exactly right. You may not know how to correct it precisely. I just want you to take your best, do your best at it. Okay, take your best shot at it, at revising your writing. So if I put my last sentence and I see, okay, that did not tell me why it matters that the characters felt they needed to change their identities for the sake of others, I'm going to try and just add another sentence here that does do that. Okay, so writing 1 sentence. Same for if I asked you to blend your quotes into your writing. I put how I didn't blend them, and then right over here, I blend it into my writing. I just do my best. Okay, lastly, After we've done both our strengths and our struggles, now we're going to create 1 to 2 specific and achievable goals for my next essay. So based on this, I'm just going to include the goal of, in my next essay, I will conclude my writing by discussing why my argument matters to society. So that's one of my achievable goals right there. You'll see it's based off of one of my struggles. Okay, make sure your name is on it. Let me put the date. And then you are going to, in Schoology, there's a submit button. You can go ahead and hit submit.